Hello and welcome back to another episode of Let's Drone Out. Tonight we are joined by our Lord and Master, Andrew Frank.
Good evening.
Everyone's favourite curry kitten.
Oh.
My Little Tony.
Bonjour.
The Blokes Against Boats from Wings and Wheels, Mike Brooks.
Oh, yeah.
And Nigel Jaffa Cake, the man.
Good evening.
And I'm Bright Till I Fly. Hello and welcome. Frank, what have you got in store for us tonight?
Well, so at the time of recording, we've got a couple of weeks till Wings and Wheels. And by the time it all goes out on the podcast, it will be less than that. But I thought we should, seeing as it's basically, as far as I can tell, the first properly publicly open event this year in the UK. RC wise, I mean, there's the Western one going on this weekend, but it seems like if it is public, they're being quiet about it. So, Wings and Wheels seems like the first big one. We should have them on and tell us what's going on and what we can look forward to.
Yay!
So Mike and Nigel, what have you been hard at work getting ready for the big launch?
Well, everything. A lot. You know what these events are like.
Yeah.
This is the second one. I mean, obviously, second one should have been last year. Got cancelled along with all the other events. So Wings and Wheels haven't traditionally had drones at that show. It's been Wings and Wheels, funnily enough. And they decided to have drones 2019 and asked me if I could arrange that. It was quite small the first year. Tony was there flying X Class with Danny, which went down an absolute storm. And we had a couple of tiny whoops. We had Drone Junkie there. We had the guy from Drone User Magazine, Steve Timewell. He demoed some camera drones, and it was just a very casual affair. 2020 should have been the first proper tiny whoop British Championships, and again the pandemic put paid to that. So, and we didn't even know if the show was going to go ahead this year until maybe 3 months ago when Boris decided yes we can, and so it's been a mad rush since then to get things ready. So this year it is going to be a lot bigger than the first year. We've got two separate marquees. We've got an outside flight line. We've demoing again, so we've got X Class again. Tony's coming and Danny. We've got two other X Class pilots, Martin and Colin. I forget the second names. Oh, Martin Rye, of course.
I think it was Clive.
Oh, Clive. Sorry, it is. It's Clive. Yeah. So I'm kind of hoping we'll get to see 4 X Class up in the air at one time. Whether that's possible or not, I don't know.
Is that enough for a race? Is there enough space there for?
There is enough for a simple race with maybe a simple oval, but that'll be down to Tony and the guys to decide whether they've.
Sounds good to me. I'm up for it already.
So Martin's already said he's going to bring some flags and stuff down so that we can set something simple up. So the open flight line will have X Class. It's got a lot of pro camera drones as well, because it's not just about racing, and it was always been set up that way. It's about everything drone. That's why they call it Drone Fest. So Stephen Timewell's running that outside line. He's got lots of different professional pilots coming along and doing demos, as well as the X Class. We've got a couple of guys, Tom Mundy being one of them. He's a great pilot. He's doing demos for 5-inch as well, and a couple of other pilots. And so the open flight line should be a lot of fun, a lot for people to see. And then we've got a second marquee, and that's dedicated to Tiny Whoop, which is my passion right now, hence the and we are actually running an open championships for Wings and Wheels. We've got 25 competitive pilots, heats during the Saturday, finals on the Sunday, LED track. For those that camp and stay over, if people haven't bought tickets yet, if you're going to do and you're going to stay over, you get to see all the night racing, the night flying like they do at Western. But we'll have the night track lit up, and and that's when the team racing kicks in. So we're having team racing, tiny up team racing in the evening, and then a tiny up party to finish off on the Saturday night with beer pong, team beer pong. Would you believe? So yeah, so lots of fun and lots of things. Drone Junkie going to be there with a load of extra exhibits as well. They've got he does these. Is it 174th scale, Mike? I can't remember.
172nd or 176th, I think.
Right, they're absolutely
Really
tiny. And he's got a drag track set up for that with a laser timer and everything for people to compete on. We've got FPV rock crawling that people can get involved in. Yeah, there's loads going on. So it should be a good, fun show.
Nice. There was a question. I'm just trying to find it. Finley Stannard was asking if there's any 5-inch, like as in not just the demo, but any 5-inch racing or open flight lines for people to kind of fly in.
Thank you, Finley. Or Grumpy.
Grumpy.
Thank you, Grumpy.
There is no 5-inch racing as such. We made this decision consciously when we did the first one because we do believe there's a lot of events do 5-inch racing. It takes a lot of organising, and then you've got the safety aspects. We wanted to make this an all-round, so there's demos of various things, and 5-inch does take up a lot of space. Tiny Whoop isn't getting enough exposure. There's many clubs around the club, Tiny Whoop clubs, but they don't really have a big event to show off what they do. So that's why the decision was, let's dedicate Wings and Wheels to Tiny Whoop mainly for the racing and give those pilots a chance to have a big event to go to. So no 5-inch racing. There will be demoing. And I'll get back to Finley. I have got his email. I'll get back to him on whether the open track will allow us to do fun fly for 5-inch in the evening. That's a possibility. But I can't promise anything. But we'll find out. I'll ask Steve and see if we can arrange that.
Yeah. Hopefully, Finley. Cross your fingers there.
I hope so. So for people coming along, Nigel, what do they have to know that's special and different due to whatever the COVID regulations are at that particular time?
Yeah, well, that's raised its ugly head, hasn't it? We all hoped it was all over.
Well look at the elephant in the room.
Yeah, we were all getting ready to party, and then Boris hit us with one. Well, it's not going to change the event as such. We're still going to have a lot of fun. It's not changed. We've not had to take any of the exhibits down or anything like that. For spectators, weather permitting, and we mean as in wind, because Tiny Whoops don't like a lot of wind, we are quite confident we'll be able to open one side of the marquee, so that there's no restriction on people then watching the Tiny Whoop racing on the outside. The open flight line, there's no difference. They can watch that. It's inside the marquees where there's going to be a difference. If we do have to close the marquee and they come inside, it'll be a 2-meter distance and spectators wearing face masks, unfortunately. The bar is table service, as are the burger bars, but they've done, all of those guys have been doing events this year where that's been the case. So they're all well set up for that. So the only difference is if we do have to go inside the marquee, spectator-wise, they'll have to wear a mask. We'll have to limit the numbers. Other than that, for us, for the pilots, I'm currently in the middle of building some perspex screens to go between the pilots where they sit down so that we don't have to wear masks. None of the pilots will need to wear masks. And same for the race control table, which is probably a good thing. That way the race controller and the commentator can't fight then because there's a screen between them. Anything to add, Mike? Because I've probably missed loads.
Not as far as COVID regs. I think there's going to be a net in place to stop the spectators getting too close. That's about it with COVID.
Yeah.
Well, on more positive note, how are you doing the team racing? How's that going to work?
Mike, your turn.
I knew you were going to say that. Okay, so it's going to be teams of 4. It's essentially going to be a relay race. All pilots have to take their turn. So first pilot goes up, does as many laps as he wants to do, comes in, someone's ready to unplug him and plug the next drone in. Next pilot goes off, tries to get as many laps done in a certain amount of time. So it's going to be absolute chaos, but it'll be brilliant fun.
And how are the teams being put up? I mean, are there still spaces or?
Team racing, we are still doing tickets for that. I believe you have to contact Wings and Wheels directly to get them. Ideally, if full teams joined at 4, that would be absolutely brilliant, so we don't have to put any more people in teams. But we can always work around it.
How's best for people to actually do that then? Is that an email address or is that a link on the website somewhere?
There is a link on the website, I believe. I'm not sure if they've actually done tickets specifically for it or not.
Yeah, you can contact them. It's Wings and Wheels, Wings N Wheels, so Wings N Wheels, one word, .net. There's a link on you'll find, if you just search Wings and Wheels on Facebook, you'll find the link. And just contact them and just let them know that you want to have the reduced price ticket. I believe they're doing it, I think it's £30. And that includes the camping. That's for the whole weekend, camping, and you will get to enter the team racing if you want to. Also, a fun fly in the evening. We open the track on the Saturday evening so people they want to bring the whoops, they can fly. Anyone who's coming to the event anyway, maybe they're flying wings, you've got a whoop, the track will be open from what time, Mike? Maybe 9 o'clock, something like that. Maybe a bit later.
The free track, we're looking at around 8 o'clock, hopefully. So
it'll be a free track. So if people have brought the whoops with them, they can fly and enjoy that. The reason for the nickname Jaffa Cake, we're all flying. I'll tell you what's really wonderful about this event as well. All the race organisers, and we've got organisers from different clubs. Mike's from Drone Racing Cornwall. We've got Paul Jaggers from Indoor Racing London. We've got, a lot of the main Tiny Whoop club organisers, and we're all racing. There's not a single person there that isn't actually racing. So there's nobody just sat behind a desk. And I'm in a team called Bakery Boys, and we've all changed our pilot names to different cakes. I'm Jaffa Cake. We've got Lemon Drizzle, Mini Rolls Rule, and
Mini Rolls Rule.
Fruit Pie, I think.
Baked Berry Pie.
Baked Berry Pie.
Well, slightly controversial there. If you is a Jaffa Cake a cake or a biscuit, and I don't know about the pie. Is that supposed to be good? But
yeah,
I get the general impression. Just nitpicking.
I think we've got 6 teams at the moment, Mike.
Yes,
I think so.
Yes, 6 teams.
And if we could get another 2 teams, so if we're racing 4 teams at a time, that would be perfect. So there is definitely space. Maybe you four could put a Let's Drawn Out team together and come and join Tony at Wings and Wheels.
I don't own a Whoop. I do, but it's broken.
I think my Whoop's probably in the same state.
Yeah, it's pretty much not good. But I might buy one off Gem when I'm there because I haven't had a fly of a Whoop for a tiny Whoop for a long time. So
yeah,
if he's got any stuff for sale, I'm sure he will have. I might participate.
Gem, he's always got stuff for sale.
He has. But yeah, Jack, are you going to turn up and say hello to everyone?
I believe so. Yes, I should show up. I don't know whether I'll be welcome to chase you around for a bit of chase footage for the X class if you want me to do that.
I'm sure you'll probably be allowed.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, man. No worries.
I want to drag race an X class in my little toothpick.
Me and Matt talked about this the other night. What if we had a tiny whoop, a toothpick, a 5-inch, and an X class all lined up in a one-off drag race to see who won? I think it'd be pretty spectacular.
And a beast class in between, I think. Missing one.
Yeah.
Like a 7-inch or something.
You could probably do that.
Maybe.
And maybe get one of the Mavic Airs to join in as well.
Yeah.
That could just film us all. I thought you were talking about strapping a tiny Whoop on an X class and then getting flying around. Just a bit of sellotape on there, you know.
It'd be funny to stack them all up and have them take off from each other.
Maybe if someone's brave enough to try and recreate the Danny and the incident at last time's
God,
Wings and
yeah.
Wheels. That was just incredible.
Pure fluke, but
Yeah. Who was the young pilot? I'm trying to remember the name of. He'll kill me if he's watching this as well. But his name's gone out of my head now.
I can't remember his name. I can.
He was in Team GB that went to Korea as well. He's not an unknown pilot.
No, he's quite well known. I've just completely forgotten his name.
Let's play dementia.
Hey, we're all getting old. I'm 50 now, so I've got an excuse.
Oh my god!
What does his name start with? Does anyone know in the chat? Can someone Google it?
Do you want to tell us a story and maybe it'll come back to you?
Yeah. So this young pilot, he was demoing. He was demoing 5-inch at the show, and obviously Tony and Danny were demoing the X class, and we got invited to go onto the main flight line with the fixed wings. I thought, yeah, great. So and we also had Carlos with a tiny whoop. We had one of the 85 HD tiny whoops, and so he was scanning the crowd doing that. We had Tony and Danny flying the X class, and we had and I was hoping his name had come to me because
Danny.
No,
he's a young pilot.
Yeah. So we had the young pilot with his 5-inch, and then he was doing a chase, and he's right behind Danny, and Danny slowed down for a second for some reason. I think he was getting ready to do a turn and come back, and as he slowed down, in between his arms, he went straight through the middle of the arms, underneath the props, straight through. Danny didn't see this. Yeah, basically straight through without hitting a prop, and both of them were fine. We all gets back to our marquee later afterwards, and he's jumping up and down and going, I can't believe what happened. You've got to see the footage. He put it on his laptop. When we've played it in slow motion, he actually did go straight through the arms without hitting a prop. Absolutely incredible.
Nice.
And at the same, I was commentating in the commentary box with all this, and at the same time, I was explaining about the tiny whoops, and I'm saying to everybody, tiny whoops, perfectly safe. You can't get injured with a tiny whoop. Absolutely fantastic. And as I came out of the commentary box, Carlos, who'd been flying this 85mm HD whoop, he stood there with a cut on his cheek, and he'd accidentally face punched himself with the quad and cut himself. And there's me telling everybody it's perfectly safe, and outside the public are watching him smash himself in the face. It was fun. That it's going to kill me, Tony, not remembering his name. He's going to kill me.
I can find out. Let me go off air for 2 seconds and find out, because I know who knows.
No, who knows?
It's just gonna come in a flash.
Are you going to have any simulators sitting around the side somewhere?
Really, sadly, not this year, and it's a real shame because Tiny Whoop Go's becoming really, really popular. It's doing really well, but unfortunately, Ray Smith, who has all that kit and is the genius behind it, he's tied up at the moment. He's doing a lot of work with schools and colleges. Not a lot of people know he's got a third sim called Rotor Pilot, which is a professional simulator pilot, so camera drones, etc. And so he's doing a lot of work with universities and organisations with that, which is going really well. So unfortunately, he's busy. And I could have run it, but me and Mike would be far too busy making sure that the team racing it doesn't become too much chaos.
Alfie Mitchell.
Alfie Mitchell, of course.
Yeah, well, I pictured his face. I just forgot his bloody name.
As a test, we could ask you for that name again in 15 minutes to see if it's just gone.
No, yeah, it was Alfie. He's a really good pilot, isn't he?
He is. He's underrated, Alfie, because I mean, he made it to South Korea, not last year, year before, to the World Championships.
Yeah.
And he was absolutely fantastic. And he's like a bit like Luke Bannister, where he just doesn't feel pressure, you know. And he's such a good ambassador as well for the sport because he's such a pleasant lad, so nice. Bit like, you know, like Gary Kent. He's another pilot from the past who's just one of those guys who's so nice on camera. Anybody asks him, he's happy to talk to them, you know. Yeah, great lad. It's a shame he couldn't make it this year. I would have loved to see him again.
Did I say Alfie Mitchell? Was it Alfie Mitchell?
No, it was Alfie Mitchell. Yeah,
someone
100%.
saying, wasn't he in EastEnders? Ain't he in EastEnders? Not that one. It's not.
No, it's definitely Alfie Mitchell.
He was.
We had Kelsey there as well, didn't we?
Yeah, I let her fly my X-Class.
That's right. That was a nerve-wracking moment, but she did well.
She did very well. Yeah, yeah. She had a go of it, but she's a really good pilot. So I was just like, yeah, go on, you have a go.
Yeah.
Fossil's going to be bringing any giant frames along with them, either the Thor or.
I think he's probably. I think we're doing it. Fossil is going to do a little bits to sell some things because I knew the new S3's out, and probably there's a few Thors for sale, and I know there's some of our long range Tomahawk quads for sale as well. So I'll probably display mine because I haven't crashed it yet.
Yet.
So I think there's a few of them for sale as well. So yeah, you can come along and have a look at some Fossil stuff, as it were.
Yeah.
I don't know if Martin's going to forgive me for this, but he said to me on a call last night he might even be persuaded to fly himself at the show.
I hope so. He never flies.
Yeah. He always I'll let the young lads do it, but it'd be great to see him fly.
More X-Class up at the same time, the better.
Texas. When we went to Texas, he stuck it in a drink. we went to the Worlds in Texas, and he.
Surprised there was any in Texas. I don't
There
know.
were-
In my head, it's just a very big, dry, empty space.
It was dry, but it was on a big ranch with a lake on it, and we had to fly around the lake. And I don't know if it's his first lap. It was probably his second lap. And he straight in the drink. But it all dried out all right. He was all right. He didn't fly after that though. So hopefully he'll fly.
There's no water at North Weald. He'll be fine.
No, good.
just the odd manned aircraft. That's all.
Yeah.
Because there's the Nat, the kind of vintage Red Arrow. That's labelled as being displayed. I think they're actually going to be flying it and everything. And there's a few other manned aircraft that are quite common at North Weald. So
we all have all the race directors. We have to have a radio because it's still, even though there's nobody scheduled to land there or take off there, because we're actually they actually use the runway as the main flight line. If there was an emergency landing coming, we get the call and we have to clear and let them come in. And I believe it has actually happened once during the Model Air Show. So, yeah, it's quite exciting. Oh, Tony, that is beautiful.
She's coming to Wings and Wheels.
Come visit Coco at Wings and Wheels.
Yeah.
In fact, we mentioned about this ourselves before coming on tonight. We should arrange to say a time where we'll all be in the beer tent or outside the beer tent.
Time we're not going to be around the beer tent.
When are you not going to be displaying your X-Class, Tony? When are you not going to be flying?
So I'm stopping at 5 and hitting the beer from 5:30.
There we go. 5:30 at the beer tent. LDO meetup. Anyone listening, come and say hi.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
5:30 at the beer tent.
And if you're camping, then around 8:30, beer pong in the tiny up tent.
Can you explain beer pong?
So we've got a professional. Beer pong? You've never played beer pong?
Never heard of it. Only the Thailand one. I don't know if
Right.
it's that.
No.
Is it anything like that one?
Similar. You may not have quite the same accuracy. Yeah, you have a long table with cups at each end with beer in them, traditionally with beer in, and a ping pong ball, and the teams take turns. And if you throw the ping pong ball, if it lands in the cup of the opposing team, the person whose turn it is on the other team has to drink the beer out of that cup, and then it's their go to throw. You just take turns. Obviously, because of COVID, we've had to change the rules slightly, but we've made it rather more potent. So the cups will have water in them. So if a ball lands in the water, then that person that the cup's landed in has to take a shot, and there'll be various shots there from whiskey to ouzo and we've got disposable shot glasses. So yeah, it's
do ouzo, but I got drunk on whiskey, and once you got drunk on something like that, you can never drink it again. Even the smell. Oh no, ouzo I can handle. Whiskey, no. But I'll be up for playing some beer pong.
Yeah, I'll be a laugh. We're hoping the teams will stay in the teams as well, as much as possible, and maybe and have a bit of rivalry off the track on the beer pong table. And we've got a professional beer pong table as well. So
Professional beer pong.
Oh yeah, there's in the United States. They have bars dedicated to beer pong and they actually have American championships in beer pong. Believe it or not.
I mean, I guess if there's professional like drone races, why shouldn't there be professional?
Fair, there's like a world championship bog snorkeling, so beer pong is quite normal in comparison, isn't it?
No, yeah. What have I missed? Oh, we've got the procession as well, Mike.
Yeah.
Procession.
Yeah, the lorries.
The wings side of Wings and Wheels, they have the Timara truck guys there, and they've got their own marquee. In there, they set up an entire town with the RC diggers, the really expensive $4,000 a piece, all metal diggers, the trucks, and all that. And they do all of that. And just before the fireworks display in the evening, they take all the trucks down to the entry gate, because Wings and Wheels is set on a long road. Unlike Western Park, if you've been there, which is like spread out over fields and no one can ever find the drones because they're on the hill right at the back. This is on a long road with everything either side of that road. So they do a procession of all the trucks in the evening with all the lights on and the flashing lights and all the sounds all the way up. And this year we've been invited to join them with all the tiny whoops and fly with them as they do the procession. So we're hoping that all the pilots will, obviously line of sight because we won't have enough video channels, but
is this before beer pong or after beer pong?
This is before beer pong.
Okay.
I think we're going to have to ask Lurgy in the chat which side he's going to be on, because he's known for both. So be interested to know which side of that fence he's going to come down on.
And Lurgy's in the chat. Yeah, tell Lurgy to join the Facebook group that we've sent him several reminders for. The pilots Facebook group.
Yeah, Lurgy.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's because there are also the helis another separate thing, or are they on the main flight line with the fixed wing stuff?
No, they have their own area, but I'm not actually 100% sure where the helis are, because we're in a different part of the airfield this year. There's a lot more room. We're in a much better spot. They've moved us to, if you remember, Tony, where we're right at the bottom end of the runway, and the control tower and all the hangars were at the other end. We're at that end now with the hangars and where the control tower is. So there's a lot more room and space, especially for camping. It's a much nicer area. I'm not sure where they've put the helis, but there are helis there. The commentator is Nick Johnson. Many people know his dulcet tones. Great commentator. So he's commentating the whole event, not the tiny whoop. We'll be doing that ourselves. Mike's looking forward to
that. He's shaking his head. And there's
Yeah.
there's a big bring and buy still, isn't there? I think is that still
Yeah.
Andy's
Yeah.
mate? Still is that Phil doing that bring and buy? I think I could be wrong,
Is it?
but I could be very wrong. But either
might
way,
be
there's a big
this.
bring and buy, which
There is. There's
Feel
one
like
every
very
year.
high.
It just means I'm going to take a massive plane home in my boot, hopefully.
Yep. That's about right.
Yeah, if
I
I
can
can
add
fit
it to my collection of big planes that aren't currently flight worthy.
have you got a collection like that as well? Have you?
Yep, it's growing. It's grown dramatically since
I
having
think
a
I'm
car.
up to. I think I'm up to 25 now in total.
Oh, it's not got that
Only
big
about 8 are flying.
yet. Yeah.
I tell you what was
Yeah.
impressive the first year, the RC hot air balloons.
I was going to ask you if the
Ooh.
hot air balloons are going to go
Yeah,
back there. I
not
really
only are
enjoyed
they
that.
coming this year, but there's 3 times as many. Apparently, with 2 last year, weren't there? There's 6 this year.
Please explain more, because instantly I think hot air balloons. I'm thinking, aside from the fact there's a guy that can pull the thing and makes the burner happen, they're kind of they're just in the elements. They're just floating off in the wind, aren't they?
They
How's
are.
is it more of a sort of free flight model kind of?
It is, and they actually have a fuel tank in them, and all that they can do with the control. Apparently, there is some with the air vent on the top, just like on a real balloon. There is some control, slight control, not a lot. You're in
Kind of
the
up and
element.
down, essentially,
Yeah.
though, isn't it?
Pretty much, and they're just the same as the real thing. They're pretty big, these hot air balloons. I don't know what scale they are, but they're really impressive. They have a little gas canister on and blows actual flames into them, and they're really impressive. We got some great drone footage flying around them last year. So,
Is that going to be a kind of dusk thing as well, like 8:39, something like that?
yeah, they come out as light starts to go down. They come out as the fireworks display goes on, and then all the night flying happens. All the wings, obviously, with all the LEDs. They have a crazy free flight, just same as Western Park do, where anything goes for half an hour and everything's up there at once. Yeah, it's great fun. Yeah, there's a wonderful atmosphere, Wings and Wheels. It's a really relaxed, friendly family atmosphere. Yeah, I think anybody who goes will enjoy it.
I really enjoyed it because it was just nice and relaxed all day.
Yeah.
I find it fascinating that I've just discovered there's another RC niche that I didn't know about, which is
You're on a hot
RC
air balloon now,
balloons.
don't you?
Well, I'm instantly thinking, have they got like GPS trackers in, or are they guys just like, quick, get the car? It's going that way. I just don't know how it works.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, yeah. Well, you'll need to come along and chat to the guys. Maybe you can get them on your show.
That'd be cool.
That is crazy. Just like a little tank of butane, servo. I think of
They
what
were
else.
they were really cool to watch, especially at dusk when the flames light up and they were just cruising up and down. It was really cool.
I feel I could make my own one. I've got a camping stove and a Tesco's bag. I reckon I could get something launched fairly quickly here.
Oh my god, it is actually a thing. Hang on, I'm doing a bit of a Google.
So we are actually going to have
the little wicker basket.
It goes bag and it is a drone. It's going to
Well,
be
it's definitely going to be an LDO thing if we make it out of a Tesco bag, isn't it? Right up our street.
That'd be good.
Lurgy says they're on a piece of string, like a kite. You just put it back again.
Oh.
Ah. They're not that brave then.
We could be pioneers here, guys. We're going to do the proper
Long range
hardcore.
hot air ballooning.
With a chase car.
When it fail safes, it just does return to wherever.
Just
Carries on.
continue to be on.
Yeah.
Wild blue yonder.
See, it's all gone quiet now as you all look up hot air balloon.
I'm fascinated. I am
Jack's
absolutely.
definitely looking.
Like, there's even an owl-shaped one.
An L shape.
Like, and Yeah, they're like bigger than you expect. Hang on, I can.
They are quite big, to be fair.
You know, like hang on, this.
I do love the wacky end of RC. I like funnycopters as well. If I said that right, I always forget it. Flying bird models.
Yeah.
Funny
Look at the size of them.
Wow, that is serious, isn't it?
It's legit, like.
I
Since
mean,
you're bringing,
send your
since you're
baby
bringing
off in
Coco along anyway, Tony. And there's a little
Here's
basket.
the owl one.
I won't put her in there.
Can you imagine
No.
if she like falls asleep in one of the
Right,
baskets?
we've just put Tony in there.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
true. Tony's pretty little.
This is like
Probably
full size to Tony,
as
isn't
like-
it? Really?
Shut up, Jack.
We cut him up a bit.
You basket.
What scale do you think they are? I mean, looking at the size of them.
I don't know. Like, I've never seen a hot air balloon like
Yeah.
up close in real life. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I bet they're like massive.
They look big,
Big.
but so are real balloons. They're really big, aren't they?
I reckon 10 scale.
Yeah, I was just going by the basket and just like usually they're what a few meters across, and that looks what
I think you got to make them
maybe
yourself.
60, so maybe 5th scale. I don't know.
No, it's not 5th scale.
Well,
Where
cool.
do you even buy something like that?
Yeah,
That's
who's
got to be
making these?
German. Has to be the Germans. Only they would do something like this.
Well, it does
I
have
mean,
a German URL on the side there.
Guaranteed Banggood will be selling one.
It does.
Richard Warwick said his wife just said no to RC hot air balloons.
Yeah, I have to sneak. If I get a new whoop or a new lipo, I have to sneak it in the house or have it delivered to work so that she don't find out. There's no way I'm going to sneak one of them through the post, is there?
Amazon lockers, man. That's what they're all about.
Well, I think at Popham they did have a service where you could get your delivery sent to Popham and they'd hold on to it for you so you could collect it from there rather than it being delivered to your home.
No, that's a good idea.
And we'll make the invoice out to whatever you say it was.
Yeah.
New kettle.
Sorry.
Usually it's about 20 quid. That's
Yeah.
the level.
It's always 20 quid.
Sorry, Zero. I wasn't blaming you guys, but I would, you guys.
What do you mean
love
there's
that.
no room in the spare bedroom, Richard? It folds up. It's a balloon. It's like you don't need any space. You just roll it up.
Just
Got
tell
its
her
own
you thought
basket
you were
to put
buying a picnic basket and it came with this extra cover to sit on.
Don't give him
All of a
ideas.
sudden, you become Yogi the Bear. Picnic basket.
Tell her you thought you were buying a full size one to take her on a romantic ride.
It looks
At
bigger on the
sunset,
listing. Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's this big.
Yeah. Typical wish.com stuff. Yeah.
Just out of
Does
interest,
anyone-
can anyone like guys and girls in the chat stick your thumb up if you're coming to Wings and Wheels? It'd be nice to see how many people come in. To say hello to everyone. Let's see if this happens. Go on, Jack. Sorry, mate. I just want to have a look at
Does anyone know anyone with a legit, like, full size hot air balloon?
1, 2.
What was
No.
that noise? Was that
Someone's
cats
parrot.
fighting? Oh, it's
No,
parrot.
that was apparent. Well, unfortunately, a cat vomiting.
Oh, no.
Put that at the start of the
Timing.
podcast, please. Well, we've got quite a few thumbs up in the chat. We've got Clive coming, Richard Warwick coming, Lurgy coming, Richard Flanagan coming, Marshall McFly coming, Magic Pencil coming. There's going to be some people from the chat coming to say. Carolyn is coming Sunday. Cool. Quite a few people from the chat coming in. It'd be nice to meet you guys from the chat. I've met a couple of you, but you'll probably have to say your pilot name if you come and say hello, because we won't know who you are if you just say hi to us.
5:30 beer tent Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be the one with the little dog.
You
Jack,
might
what
want
will
to
you
put.
be the one with?
I'll
Don't say
be.
me, you bastard.
Yeah, the like my wife Tony shirt on, and I'll be with Magical Pencil and he's husky.
Oh, is he bringing his husky? Cool.
Yeah, the Hund.
There's
The
another one in
Hund.
the chat. Don Lads has stuck his thumb up.
Don't forget, there's still places for the team racing if anybody wants to.
Someone's asking, can they buy tickets on the door or on the gate? Is that
Yes,
a
you
thing?
can. Yeah, you can buy on the gate. You're better off booking them and buying them beforehand. The reason being, due to the continuing lockdown, the show is limited to 4,000 spectators at any one time. So if it was busy and you're buying at the gate and you haven't already got a ticket, you could potentially find that the show's full. I don't know how strict they're going to be on the 4,000, but that's 4,000 spectators. Not that doesn't include the people that are staff and people that are showing planes, etc. So yeah, and I think the weekend's going to be nice weather as well. So I think my advice would be get one beforehand.
Yeah. Remember,
There's a discount as well.
2 years ago, it was absolutely boiling, wasn't it? It was so hot.
Yes.
So
I think don't think it's going to be quite as hot this year. I think it's showing 22, 24 degrees, something like that.
I don't mind.
I think it was like 32 or something ridiculous.
It was so hot. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember we had things taped to the inside of the marquee we had little bits of tiny walk gates just for pilots to fly through and demo the tiny walks. It kept melting the glue on the gaffer tape, and things kept falling off because nothing had stayed stuck. It was that hot.
Yeah, it was a warm one.
Yeah, we're hoping to have a really impressive track. No, we are going to have an impressive track, aren't we, Mike?
Hopefully. Yeah, one of our drone racing Cornwall lads is doing all the track design for it, and he just makes absolutely amazing tracks out of virtually nothing.
Cool.
Yeah. A lot of the clubs have chipped in with the track equipment as well, so there'll be bits from all over the place. I think we've got 2 infinity tunnels.
If we can get mine in the car.
I'm taking a trailer. I've got that much stuff now. I'm having to take my trailer. So yeah, we've got infinity tunnels and all the usual stuff. At night we've got UV, 2 huge UV lamps, and a lot of the gates have been painted in UV reflective paint, so it all glows. And yeah, it'll be a lot. The night time will be very colourful, let's say.
Black, light, blue, not UVC. I'm hoping.
Oh no, it's safe. These are a proper UV.
Not germicidal for the old soldier, and we all end up with welder's eye.
No,
Right,
they're from nightclubs. They're 2 proper spotlights from nightclubs.
No worries.
So they'll be awesome.
Yeah, they're not a thing anymore since COVID. What was I going to say? You know, when you do beer pong, you might want to put some antibacterial stuff in the water. Just saying.
Well, we can just replace the water with hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
See that?
Everybody wears rubber gloves.
Just don't drink it. Mind you, you probably still get pissed on the hand sanitizer, can't you? I think most of it's alcohol.
I feel like there's probably some like methanol in there or something that you probably shouldn't.
It does the same thing.
Disclaimer: don't drink hand sanitizer, people. Don't listen to Tony ever.
I'm sure mine's got alcohol in it. Definitely.
Well, when times are hard, breweries have turned to. Most of it's coming from breweries at the moment, anyway, isn't it? So
be careful around busy roads. Don't be on fire. Be careful around busy roads. Don't take our advice. That is, Frank, you outdo yourself every time.
That's about right.
Oh man, can you imagine distilling hand sanitizer to drink it? Tony going in B&Q. He's like, "Have you got a cold one?" And then
do you have an IPA?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got IPA there. Thanks.
I'm really looking forward to there being, a field for the people
Yeah.
nerding out about stuff and sharing it around. I think that'd be good. It'd be good to like, see people again. And,
Yeah.
see stuff happening. I'm looking forward to
I
that.
think for me, that's that. I mean, when we were putting this together, and me and Mike were talking about the scheduling for the racing and stuff, and what we didn't want was, it being too serious. Mike did all the scheduling, and there's racing for half an hour, and then there's a break for half an hour. It's not dead air in that break. We've got Samel doing stuff with his crazy cars and things like that. There's something going on all the time. But it gives pilots a break and a chance to enjoy the show as well. It gives all the race organisers a chance. Because I think what we wanted, this is the first time a lot of people have even seen other pilots in over a year or seen their friends or been out. So we wanted it to be fun and relaxed. So, and that's the emphasis on making sure it's, hence the beer pong. It's all about, let's just have a good time, have a drink and see all our friends and chat and just make it fun. Because I'm not a big fan of racing being over serious anyway. I've seen what it does to some pilots who used to love the hobby and then hated it because of the pressure. Not that there's a place for it, but I don't think in terms of Tiny Whoop, the whole point of Tiny Whoop is the social side of it is as important as the flying. So I think it's important to make sure the events stay fun.
Definitely.
Yeah. And so Mike, you've been dragged in this year as well.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is your cat all right?
Yeah, I don't know what it ate, but it didn't smell good. But yeah, done all the scheduling. That was, well, I'm hoping it works out fine. The plan is within the half an hour sort of qualifying, there'll be 2 teams racing, and we're only looking at getting 4 races in within the half-hour time slot. So it's not rushed or anything like that, and it should just be a good laugh.
Yeah, I think that'll be a relief to a few of the people who've been in the chat saying that they're going along to the racing and probably they're worried about not being the best. And it sounds like there's.
Oh, don't worry, I'm flying. I never compete, and we all agreed everybody's going to fly and everybody's going to compete. So I'll probably be last. Or very near that. I'll certainly be in the bottom 3 or 4. So yeah, you needn't worry about that. And it's not about that anyway. It's about turning up and having a laugh and taking part.
Golfing rules.
Until team racing, and then it's all about bragging rights with the team racing.
Yeah, all goes out the window then. Everything. Yeah. On the team racing, there's all the tactics involved. I can't wait to see how teams. We've left certain things in the rules, sort of open-ish to interpretation, so that we're hoping to see some crafty tactics in the team racing, because there's no hard set rules for the team racing at the minute. But we want to see more. I'm a big believer in team racing. I think there should be way more of it. I think drone racing should all be team racing and not individual racing. Take the pressure off individual pilots, and getting sponsorship and stuff. You're far more likely to get sponsorship as a hobby grows for a team and people following a team than an individual. So I'm a big fan of it, and certainly with Tiny Whoop, and it's so much more fun for me.
Yeah, I mean that was why we did the team racing at Mini Air Show, was like, it makes it so that it is definitely not that kind of very highly strung competitive, and it is still competitive, but it's a bit more of a because it is team against team, it's a bit more kind of poking fun at each other rather than kind of a really harshly competitive environment. I don't know, it just kind of evens it out a bit, keeps it a bit more lighthearted, and if people are going along with people to the same kind of level, then it's kind of more about working with each other than against each other in a nicer way. yeah, which is nice. And you, like you say, you then get a bit of a kind of team identity, and you get people, Jaffa Cake. You wouldn't probably put yourself down as Jaffa Cake if you weren't on a team, and so you do kind of get that fun element to it.
Yeah,
It's quite
absolutely.
nice.
Yeah, I'd love to see a league. I mean, in the US, Jesse's, trying to get that. The Tiny Whoop Club network. You may not, unless you're into your Tiny Whoops, you won't have heard of that. But there's now a network where all clubs are getting support and working together to try and come up with common rule sets and sharing ideas and working together. And they're trying to get a league together in the US, where a team league that teams can travel around, and they're traveling with the mates, maybe going for a weekend to an event and team competitions. And I really hope that takes off, and I'd love to see that for the UK. I'd also love to see an X-Class league in the UK, Tony. And I don't know. I'm looking forward to speaking to Martin and seeing how that's coming along. I think that'll be awesome.
I hope it will happen. It's been a few years now. The components are getting cheaper. Sets we've all left. We've left the EU, and bits are a bit harder to find than normal. But yeah, we hope to get something done. Yeah, it'd be good to chat. It'd be just so good to catch up with everyone, like you're saying.
Yeah,
It'd be just really, really nice. What are the dates in case anyone's listening? And I'm pretty sure our podcast will go out before the dates.
It's a week this Saturday, which is the 26th and 27th of June.
Yes.
So
Excellent. And try to pre-book in case you get shut out, because they're only letting, what was it, 4,000?
Yeah.
4,
That's at any one
in.
time. That's not in total for the day. It's at any one time. So you'd be in a queue waiting for somebody to leave to get in.
Like the nightclubbing days back in the day. Yeah,
one out, one in.
Yeah, got my white trainers on, but I've got black socks on. Wicked. It's going to be okay. Yeah.
Was that a thing, having black socks?
Well, you put your black socks over your white trainers, and no one ever looked down at your shit and thought you had shoes on. That's how I used to get in if I'd forgot.
You put socks over your trainers?
Over white trainers, and then they look like black shoes, and then you'd got in the nightclub.
That sounds like much more effort than just putting shoes on.
Yeah, but if you were out and like girls, mates, and that were like, come on, go, got my
trainers on. Yeah.
But,
I've got my trainers on. Hang on. Let me just go and get some black socks instead of changing my trainers, because that...
Well, if you had black socks on, Carrie Kitten, you just take them off and put them over. I don't know where
this point you're not wearing socks.
Adapt, survive.
Exactly. Thank you.
This is the most bizarre story I've heard.
More drinks. God.
This is one up to the hot air ballooning RC stuff. Tony with socks on the outside of his shoes.
Yeah, I got in the nightclubs doing that. It was good.
It's probably because they thought you were some sort of lunatic. Just don't make eye contact. Just let him in. He's got socks on his shoes.
Yeah. Could have been that. But,
that's also like if you're sneaking out of somewhere with like the metal grate flooring, you can put your socks over your shoes to dampen the sound of you walking. I did.
People doing at night.
Asylum, Jack.
Yeah, that was maybe.
Oh, dear. So we're all going. Carrie, are you coming?
No.
Too far, isn't it, for you?
It's too far. I forgot, and there's some family stuff happening, so I'm staying at home. Mostly, I did forget though. It's like, really, is that on? Damn. But I'm looking over here at my calendar, and it's got 6 entries for that day, so that's not good. Sorry, guys.
It's Father's Day this weekend. Curry, you up to much?
Well, I found out that my family had forgotten until they looked. And said,
didn't
Father's
forget.
Day.
I did not forget.
Where's my present, bitch?
What do you want?
I always need new games. Give me new games. Come on.
Talking of
Okay.
games, are you allowed to talk about your game and what you put in the chat earlier today or not?
I'm allowed to talk about what I like. It's our show, isn't it?
Go on then.
Well, it wasn't for public consumption potentially. The simulator is
Oops.
entering its testing phase of the mobile version, of which Richard Warwick in the chat has got a copy and has tried it out. I'm just checking out Android because I was fighting all last night trying to work out how to get a very large app to make it into the 100 megabyte limit, which you do with some weird things. But yeah, that'll be out soon. Hopefully within the next month or so. I just got one thing to fix, and that'll be
Is
there.
that Android and Apple, or just Android at the moment?
iOS works much better than Android at the moment. There's one big bug to fix in Android, but it was much cheaper to become an Android developer than an iOS developer. So I thought I'd test out, see how hard it is to get stuff onto Google Play, quite hard, and do some testing. So I'm just waiting for people to come back, see if there's any big problems detected.
So can
seems
you
all right so
fly
far.
it? Can you fly it on a Nokia?
What's it running? Is it running Android?
Your whole thing was you can fly my game on a potato, meaning your PC, etc. So if you've got a crap PC, it'll run your game. So what's will
He's
it
given that up
work on
now. He's got like ambient weather and all sorts.
Oh, okay. It's all gone a bit.
It's
tech
like,
now,
yes,
isn't
you
it?
can run on a potato PC, but when you take all that code and you just sort of put it onto a
phone.
and you don't optimize it that much, then you need a half decent phone or tablet. Else
So,
it
go to
doesn't go
Nokia then.
crap. Well, I don't know. What is your Nokia running?
I haven't got a Nokia.
Snake.
I'm jesting.
You can't run it on a 31. What was it? 5150?
3310?
3310. It won't work on that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Just clearing
Robin FPV with the 3310 over here.
Got a wind up landline. Will it run on that?
It's gonna be like Doom, isn't it? It's gonna be like, what can you run Gary Kitten Sim on? We've got a
run it on this
toaster.
camera.
Yeah.
Smart
You
fridge.
can run it on this ATM that runs Windows XP.
Exactly.
Some old pinball machine. Yep.
Have any of you guys got VR headsets?
No,
Yes.
Only the PlayStation one.
Only on the PlayStation.
If you've got a PC that can run VR, so you can do VR games on a PC, try because Tiny Whoop Go, the Tiny Whoop sim, is actually VR ready, and not a lot of people know that. And if you try flying in VR, it's an experience. But have a sick bucket ready because when you're flying full 3D, it's a bit of an experience. But if anybody out there who's got VR headset, just try Tiny Whoop Go in 3D. It's just worth a go. You'll probably never do it again.
Do you end up doing like the head tilt stuff?
Oh yeah, you can turn your head as you're flying.
Oh, no. Oh.
Seriously, 'cause that's what VR does.
Oh,
Yeah,
To be
that'd
fair,
definitely be
Hog.
Peak Fest.
Yeah,
Despite thousands of hours in games and loads of times in Fat Sharks, whenever I'm on VR and I'm moving and I'm turning my head at the same time, within 1 hour, I'm having to go and lie down because I want to vomit.
I'm exactly the same.
it's not a comfortable experience. That's for sure.
Before we wrap up, Nigel, is there anything else? I mean, obviously, this is a Tiny Whoop UK kind of collective event of a load of clubs coming together to make this happen. Is there anything else going on in the Tiny Whoop UK world?
Well, I think with the pandemic, lots of clubs like Mike's, I think it's a lot of clubs are in the same boat and they're trying to get started again. Speaking to a lot of the guys that organise clubs, the biggest problem they all have is venues. Is finding venues that are willing to have it on. And sadly, some have lost venues due to the pandemic and not being there. Some have been successful and found new venues. But also just a lot of the clubs were building up and it was going really well, only to be put on hold. And and it's quite a thankless job being the event organizer. And if it weren't for people like Mike and you guys and everybody else, there wouldn't be any. So I would encourage pilots, when you see your local clubs trying to get going, give them a bit of support, go and fly with them. Because if venues don't see enough pilots turning up, we won't have those local meets and those weekly meets. So that's what we need right now, is support from the pilots to help the clubs that are building back up get going again. And if anybody wants to start a club and get one going, because we need more clubs, then Tiny Hawk UK and we all speak together. There's a wealth of experience and help out there. Paul Jaggers, for example, has helped several clubs start up, and all the organisers, like Mike, are always happy to give advice to anyone. But that's what it's about. We need more clubs, and we need the pilots to support those clubs. So just to get us going again. Mike, I'm sure you've got something to add on that.
I'm pretty sure you covered it all there, really. I mean, yeah, we're racing every week we can at the moment. We're lucky that we've had to change venues. But yeah, it's just great fun, and everyone should give it a go, really.
It's more a winter thing, isn't it, really? I think it...
No!
It was for us.
Sorry, I put my foot in it, but I always think it as a winter thing. Can't fly
No,
outside.
I think it does have a season, because when obviously Tiny Hawks can be flown indoors, and everybody wants to get the 5-inch out and their X class and everything else, and the wings when the weather's nice. So yeah, that's totally understandable. But yes, traditionally, but they can be flown anytime.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. In winter, they come into their own, because then you can put the events on when the weather's not so good. But then simulators are the same. Simulators come into their own in winter when the weather's not so good.
Indeed. Well, hopefully we'll see you all there next weekend.
Can't wait.
Should we call it there, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No worries. So don't forget, Wings and Wheels will be on next week on the 26th and 27th. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yep.
No worries, of June 2021. Tonight you have been joined by Andrew / Frank.
Bye.
Everyone's favourite Curry Kitten.
Goodbye.
My little Tony.
Bonjour.
Mike.
Cheers, guys.
Nigel.
Cheers.
And I've been Brighton to Life Fly, and we received a donation from Caroline Taylor, RC. Thank you very much. And we'll light up, and we'll catch you guys next week at 8 o'clock. And
thanks to all the
hopefully
Patreons.
see you there. Thank you, Patreons. And everyone who donated, thank you. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye. See you next week.
Bye.
He's dyslexic, Caroline. We'll have to forgive him for not writing your name out right.
Sorry, I'm an idiot, Caroline.
Make up for it by setting her hair on fire.
Nope. Wings and Wheels will be lighting Tony's pubes on fire. That will be at 11 p.m.
As long as I'm drunk, I don't care.
Bye.